and welcome to another exciting episode of Cars with Big Boy Trev. I am Big Boy Trev.
My name is Birigi.
And today we have something amazing courtesy of Toyota, the brand new Corolla Cross. But first things first,
let's check out the highlights of today's show.
This week on Cars with Big Boy Trev, it's all about Toyota's brand new crossover for emerging markets. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing to you the Corolla Cross. We take you through its striking design language, lush interior, and of course experience the thrill behind the wheel, powered by its 1.8-liter power plant. Question is, would you pick it over the Hyundai Tucson or the Nissan Qashqai? Catch this and much more only on Cars with Big Boy Trev every Sunday at 6:30 p.m. only on KTN Home. Software buyers are the hardest to please. They want style, they want performance, they want safety for their family. Now, today on Cars with Big Boy Trev, it's all about crossovers. A brief history about crossovers. We estimate by 2025, close to 51% of total vehicle sales will be consisting of SUVs and crossovers. And today on Cars with Big Boy Trev, we have a brand new star. This is the Toyota Corolla Cross. Now, why did Toyota decide to get into the crossover space? There are gaps within the model lineup. You have the RAV4, you have the Rush, but you need something that will also stand out. Something that will fight to the likes of the Hyundai Tucson or the Mazda CX-5. Now, this particular Toyota Cross, I can tell you for a fact, is a big step by Toyota because they've understood the trends of the market. And locally even, with the decline in sales of saloon cars, it is easy to use the platforms of current saloon cars and create crossovers that make sense to the young and modern 21st century family. So we start this particular review by taking a look at the design aspect of the Toyota Corolla, and boy oh boy, is it amazing. It's easy on the eye, it is beautiful. Arguably Toyota's best looking vehicle currently on sale. Big grille, obviously as you can see quadratic with wraparound lights which are LED with the Toyota badge, creates an illusion of sleekness, aestheticism, and of course stance, which is something so important so that it can be able to fight the likes of the Hyundai Tucson that is currently available in the Kenyan market. And as you can see, there's a black cladding on the lower lip to show that this car can do a little bit of off-roading, which is important because this is a crossover. Now, taking a look at the side profile, the silhouette has a sort of coupe design. The roofline is slanting slightly towards the tail and the rear side of the vehicle, and of course it is complemented by this particular spoiler. Now, Toyota have gone for attention to detail. It's very important. You can see this chrome part on the top window sill runs across from the front door all the way to the rear side, and then of course you do have the Corolla Cross badge right here, which I think is a good touch. It shows that Toyota actually made time to design a quality product. This particular car again is built for the 21st century young, upwardly mobile family. Now, as you can see, in terms of looking at the design, bold faces around the vehicle, the creases around, you can see the bold fenders front and at the back, creating a butch stance, which is very important. And of course, there's a cladding. This plastic cladding runs on the wheel arch down to the door sill all the way to the back, again denoting that it can do a bit of off-roading, just like the sisters RAV4 and of course the Fortuner. Again, to top it all up, you have 17-inch rims as standard, and the design is also very good. It's good alloy, aluminum alloys, just to give this car that premium look and feel, because this is a top spec Corolla Cross. Let's move to the back. Again, you can see typical Toyota design, heavily borrowed again from the RAV4 and many others. It is stable again, the Toyota Rush. You can see there's some subtle resemblance of this particular car. One thing I like about the rear profile of this car, it is wide. Because of the TNGA platform, the chassis is quite wide, so it means extra stability and extra space, especially for luggage and comfort at the back, which is very important. Now, the quadratic lights again sit there, very nicely designed, and you have the words Corolla Cross on the rear badge. I mean, you can drive it and say this Toyota actually makes a lot of sense. It looks good, and I'm really happy that Toyota have embraced design as part of a strategy to grow into the emerging markets such as Kenya, Africa, and of course Asia. So this is the first product of this global campaign that Toyota are really trying to ensure that they fit in the crossover game. But now it's time to check in and see the quality aspect of this particular Toyota Cross. Does it have a premium cabin such as the Hyundai Tucson or the Mazda CX-5 that we tested earlier? Let's get in and see what the cabin is all about. So guys, you've seen from the walk around the reason why Toyota decided to create the Corolla Cross, simply because they needed to fill in a gap that is in the Toyota range of vehicles. And I can tell you they've done a brilliant job designing this Corolla Cross, and of course now it can stand against the likes of the Hyundai Tucson and the Mazda CX-5 and many others are springing into the market. So let's start with the design aspect of this particular cabin. And the first thing you see visually is the way Toyota have employed a space age design. If you've seen what the Toyota Harrier is all about, it actually looks extremely similar. Now if you look at the dashboard, they've actually employed a two-tone design, and basically in between it you do have a stainless steel strip that runs across all the way to the driver's side, and of course also this trapezoidal vents also gives this car that je ne sais quoi we keep on talking about on cars and big motors. And of course, to top it up, they've actually used another layer of piano black finish around the X-hubs between the two parts of the dashboard, the vents around the AC, and also on the infotainment system, just to give this car that particular class that we are looking for when you're buying a crossover. Now again, the highlight of this center console is this particular screen. Looks like a 10-inch display, color and touch, that actually houses quite a number of things. You can connect your cell phone using the Starlink system. You can mirror your phone, and you can have all the access of your phone in this particular system. And then it has an amazing sound system that sounds like this. Wow! Anachukua, anaweka, wow! Now this system is actually courtesy of JBL synthesis. So Toyota have gone all out. They're not sparing anything. This JBL system has surround sound with actually a subwoofer underneath this dashboard to give you the brilliant sound quality that you so desire when you expect listening to anything from JBL. Amazing quality sound. You can stream Bluetooth. There's an USB port functionality, and of course you can have apps like Spotify that comes as standard with this Starlink system that you need to install on this particular system. And that Mr. Murigi is going to give us a lowdown on how this system particularly works. Now right below it you do have the climate control, which is dual zone actually. So basically the passenger can actually have and control the temperature, and the driver can also do the same. So different variation of temperature quite easily, and then you can also have rear heated and cooled settings at the back, so that even the rear passengers can enjoy the cool air and of course the climate control flexibility of this Corolla Cross. It's built with the family in mind, so everybody at the back as well can enjoy the quality climate control courtesy of Toyota. Now right below it, this being a crossover, there's plenty of cubicles and spaces, so you do have a space for your cell phone over here. And of course on the gearbox console you do have that subtle design. Again, there's a stainless steel strip that runs across the gearbox with piano black finish, and of course the gearbox switch also looks like it's been borrowed from one of the Lexus family. I can tell you again, premiumness is the name of the game here.
So when it comes to technology, the Toyota Corolla Cross has not been left behind. This is a car that has been built for the urban millennial, and they have made sure that everything that you need as a young person, of course now with a young family, has been taken care of. But what I'm going to do is take you through the technology all the way from the front of the car, running all the way to the back. So I'll start with the front. We're in the top spec model, and this of course now comes standard with LED front lights, which are beautiful, and Trevor took you through that of course now when we looked at the walk around. Coming to the front over here to the windshield, we actually have a sensor over here because this has rain sensing wipers, so you don't actually put on the wipers yourself. You just put it in auto. Immediately it starts raining, that sensor hit by water, the wipers just go on automatically. So again, like we keep saying, just making sure that you keep your hands on the wheel, your eyes on the road, and your focus on the driving alone. Now coming over here, we have this beautiful 10-inch touchscreen display. This of course now comes with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, and of course that gives you the full range of technology available from smartphone mirroring services. So one of the things I like about this is, in addition to being able to manage of course now music, your playlists, your podcasts, your calendar, in addition to that, you of course now have Google Maps, which is available of course with real-time traffic information. So if you want, for instance, to have a test drive of this car, which you can do at any Toyota Kenya around the country, all you do is press this button and tell the car, take me to Toyota Kenya.
Are think you want to navigate. Is that right?
Yes. Take me to Toyota Kenya.
Navigating to Toyota Kenya Limited, head office.
There you go. So it's actually now put on the map and it's giving me directions and a time for how long it's going to take between here and going to the nearest Toyota Kenya office. Now coming of course now to the middle display, you of course have another color display of course over here, which is the driver information display. This, like Trevor had mentioned, is giving you all the stuff that you need about the car itself. So if you want to change any of the settings for the lights, you want to change any of the settings or be able to see how you're doing in terms of the fuel efficiency, you're going to see that in this small screen over here. So this is all about entertainment. This is about information, making sure of course now that you know everything that the car is doing and everything that you need to do if you want to adjust the vehicle. Now this beautiful leather covered steering wheel of course also comes, like I mentioned, on the left side of the steering. You have buttons that manage this infotainment system. So you have a button for OK, going up, down, left, right. Of course now then you also have a button for going back. In addition to that, you have, of course, now this button for the voice control, which I just used earlier, which when you have the phone connected is giving you access to either Google Assistant or Siri on, of course, Apple. So you actually have the full range of capabilities of any of those systems just with the touch of a button over here. You also have, of course, volume controls on the steering. Then on the right side, we have the controls for cruise control, because this car actually does come with cruise control. So you're able to actually set a speed and let the car maintain that speed when it's on the road. And again, allows you to just focus on steering. It's a fantastic thing to use when you're on a long road trip, which is something that you're definitely going to do with this car. Now, the other thing I have to mention, of course, now is the fact that this driver's seat is powered. So all the adjustment that you do, of course, now is using electricity. It's a fantastic, very adjustable system. It's very easy to make sure that you're very comfortable in this car. Now, in terms of power, like I said, this being a car that has been built for millennials, USB ports abound and they're all high-speed charging USB points. So in the front, of course, now you have a USB point over here. There are two more for the rear passengers. All of them are 2.1 amp high-speed charging. So you can actually charge the phone or your iPad or any other device that you need incredibly fast when you're in this car. In addition to that, in the center console, we have, of course, now the traditional 12-volt socket over here. And look at this. I love the fact that you can actually adjust this center console to make yourself even more comfortable. Now, speaking of comfort, it's time for me to jump into the back seat and show you just how comfortable it is in the back of the Toyota Corolla Cross. Coming round to the back of the Toyota Corolla Cross, and as you can see, I am still sitting in the lap of luxury. I love this red leather. It's very comfortable to sit in. And I have to say, also at the back here, there's a very comfortable seat that's available. Now, in terms of space, this seat is set to Trevor's driving position. He is 6'1". I am 5'9", and there's enough space for both my knees and for my feet under the front driver's seat over here. It's a very comfortable place to be, especially if you happen to be going on a long road trip. Now, there is a very small amount of actual seat adjustment that's available, so you can actually recline the seat by about 6 degrees, but it's enough just to make sure that you're very comfortable. So you're also very comfortable at the back seat of the car, just like you would be at the front. In terms of storage, we of course now have one cup holder. So there's actually no door pocket over here. It's just a cup holder for the rear seats at the back. So there's a space for you to put a drink when you're on the move. When it comes to safety, of course, you have 3-point safety belts for each of the occupants in the back seat of this car. And of course, now you have the side curtain airbags that extend all the way to the side here to make sure that you're safe in the event of an accident. In addition to that, we of course have ISOFIX points for child seats, so you can actually fit a child seat in each of the outboard seats in the Toyota Corolla Cross. But it's time for us to check into the boot, see just how much space there is for the stuff that you want to carry. Coming round to the back of the Toyota Corolla Cross, and the boot opens to reveal a very wide 480-liter capacity over here. That gives it, of course, now a lot of space for the stuff that you need to carry. So if you need to throw in a cooler box, you need to throw in your luggage, it will fit in here very well. It's very wide, very easy to access. There's a low loading lip over here. I like it quite a lot. Now, in terms of the stuff that you can put, you have, of course, storage areas on the left and on the right. And something that I like a lot is the fact that they've put a full-size 17-inch alloy tire in the back here as the spare, so you don't have any problems in the event that you are to have a puncture. Another small detail that I actually have liked is the fact that there's a small silhouette, of course, of a Toyota Corolla Cross in the side over here, just to highlight the fact that the styling of this car is fantastic. It's incredible. But does that styling match the driving? Let's get on the road and see how this is as a driving experience.
So guys, today's a beautiful day. I'm sampling the Toyota Corolla Cross and I'm quite excited because Toyota have decided to take this direction, which is building crossovers for the market. And I can tell you, Toyotas are no longer making boring cars. This Corolla Cross is such a looker. It's a long time since I've seen such a beautiful vehicle. You could actually think that this particular car is sleek, modern. It is, I think, for the 2030 and beyond. So it's all about building crossovers. And just to let you know, crossovers and soft roaders are actually taking the world by storm. Market analysts actually say that by 2025, close to 51% of vehicles that are sold globally will be crossovers and soft roaders. So Toyotas have not been left behind. And now you can see Toyota have woken up and they're in deep with this particular Corolla Cross. Now it is based on the TNGA platform, which is scalable architecture by Toyota. This allows this car to have the same or almost similar driving and handling experiences with the sisters. So for example, the RAV4 or even the Corolla and many others that are based on this TNGA platform. Now let's start with the power. So up front, basically Toyota have used their trusted 1.8 liter petrol 4-cylinder inline naturally aspirated with variable valve timing, actually dual variable valve timing, and of course direct injection to produce 140 horsepower and 172 newton meters of torque. Now all that power is sent to the front wheels courtesy of a 6-step transmission, CVT. Now bear with me, I know I don't like CVTs, but they've enhanced the software that controls this CVT gearbox to be responsive. So if I put my foot on, I'm on normal drive mode now, like this. It picks up immediately and you can tell, wow, and that allows this car to become so aggressive without even going to sport mode. So if you are kind of person who drives an aggressive vehicle, then this particular car is the one for you, the crossover for you. Your family would enjoy it, your kids would love it, and of course you as a driver, it also gives you that driver enjoyment that you so desire. Now, speaking of that, this particular vehicle now is able to accelerate from 0 to 100 in sub 8 seconds, and of course top out at a maximum speed of about 180 kilometers an hour. You have to remain safe. That's it. It's safe, it's reliable, it's comfortable, it's sporty to drive. The question is can it perform off-road? We're going to hand over the reins to Mr. Mirigi, who's a resident tech expert. He's going to give us a lowdown on what the Corolla Cross is all about. 161 millimeters of ground clearance, long stroke suspension. Does it have enough grip? Can he go over a few rough patches? Let's join him and see what the Corolla Cross is all about.
This is actually a front-wheel drive, two-wheel drive car, of course, now, but it does have great ground clearance. About 161 millimeters of ground clearance, and we're running on 17-inch alloys, which means there's enough meat in the tires to cushion this stuff that you have in and around this place. So what we've taken the car here is to a place that mimics the kind of environment that somebody who has a car like this would be driving in, which is basically once you've turned off the tarmac, you're going deep into the reserve to see whether you can salimia people or you can do something interesting. Like I said last time, you can go do zip lining, you can go check out the shamba, that kind of stuff. And I have to say, it's doing a good job of this because the ground clearance is pretty good. And of course, now we have this beautiful 1.8 liter engine that is giving me great amounts of power as I put my foot down. Again, it's actually very easy to modulate the power on this car because of course now you have this this, of course, CVT gearbox, but they've done a good job with it because you actually are able to put the power down very well. In terms of traction, we have a lot of traction available. Where we are right now, you can see it's pretty green, so it has rained a bit. There's small patches of mud over and around the place over here, and this is taking it very well. The other thing to note, of course, is the fact that these seats are very comfortable. So even here, when you're off-road, the bolsters on the side are keeping me firm, even when the car is dancing all over the place. So I have to say they've done a really good job with this. You can turn off the tarmac and go to the shamba, but I wouldn't say that you do the overlanding type of stuff that you see people doing, driving to Lodwar and the likes, but this will handle itself incredibly well if you happen to go off the road. And it's time for us to get back on the tarmac and talk value for money.
So guys, you've seen what this Toyota Corolla Cross is all about. It's all about the design. I can tell you, this car has impressed me. Toyota really outdid themselves trying to design this car. Mr. Mary, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I mean, the Corolla nameplate, of course, is something that is very precious to Kenyans' minds.
Yes.
It is, when you're thinking the car in front is a Toyota, it's the Corolla that you have in your head.
Yes.
So when they did something using the Corolla name, they had to make sure they came through. And like you can see, it's a beautiful car on the outside, beautiful car on the inside, and the technology is fantastic for the modern millennial family.
Now, how much does it cost on the road with this design, which looks amazing? How much is it on the road?
Well, prices for the Toyota Corolla Cross start at 4.42 million shillings. The car that we have driven today is the high-spec version that comes in at 4.61 million shillings. Now, this, of course, is available with Toyota's incredible 3-year, 100,000 kilometer warranty, and there's more. You can trade in any car that you have. You don't have to have bought it from Toyota Kenya. It doesn't have to be new. It doesn't even have to be a Toyota. And you can trade that in to reduce the value that you have to pay on this car. In addition to that, you actually have up to 90% financing from tier 1 banks all over the country to make sure that you can get this car in your parking outside your house. And we're not done with that. Toyota is actually throwing in free service for up to 1 year or 25,000 kilometers just to give you peace of mind once you've bought this car. So great value with this vehicle.
So, Mr. Mirigi, what are the key rivals in this segment?
Well, if you're going to talk about SUVs that are based on a car, we cannot talk about this segment without talking about the Hyundai Tucson, the Nissan Qashqai, and the Renault Kadjar.
Now, guys, remember, if you have any thoughts, questions about this Toyota Cross, don't hesitate to write to us and tell us, do you reckon this particular car is far much better than the rivals that he has mentioned? Kama kawaida, it's an honor. Thank you so much for joining us on Cars with Big Boy Trev. But before we wrap it up, Mr. Mirigi, how do we catch BBT after the show?
Well, we are available on all social media channels, so you can catch us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Just look for Cars with Big Boy Trev or CBBT_TV. This specific episode is going to go live on YouTube right now after this episode is done at 7 p.m. So head out to your YouTube channel and you can check out this episode as well as all the episodes running all the way back from season 1. So we've covered very many cars so far, plus there's some additional content that I know you're going to love.
Well, that's it. This is Big Boy Trev signing out.
This is Mirigi. Drive safe
and be safe.